They weren't random, they were assignments. They'll tell you it was just coincidence, that she just happened to enter your life, that he just accidentally broke your heart, that those friends who ghosted you, that was just life. Move on. But that's not the truth, that's the story people tell themselves to avoid looking deeper. Carl Jung didn't believe in randomness. He believed in patterns, archetypes, soul contracts. He believed that life doesn't happen to you, it reveals you. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Now pause. What if that breakup wasn't meant to break you, but to break your illusion? What if the betrayal wasn't bad luck, but a divine interruption to pull you out of a toxic timeline? The universe doesn't send people, it sends mirrors. People come into your life to reflect the very thing you're not willing to see, your fears, your wounds, your worth, your patterns. The one who loved you then left? They were showing you how attached you've become to temporary things. The one who manipulated you with tears. They were exposing the part of you that still believes love must be earned through suffering. And the one who walked away without closure. They were teaching you that you are the closure you were searching for. So no, it wasn't random. None of it. It was spiritual surgery. It was your soul calling in exactly what you needed. Not what your ego wanted, but what your evolution demanded. Because sometimes, God doesn't send angels to comfort you. He sends people to trigger you, so that the parts of you that still need healing can no longer hide. This isn't about blame. This is about awakening. Because every person you've ever loved, hated, feared, or obsessed over was never a mistake. They were an assignment, a reflection, a message from your own unconscious, from your own soul, from the parts of you crying out, please, grow. Carl Jung didn't study people. He studied the patterns behind them. And when you start doing the same, you'll stop asking, why did they hurt me? And start asking, what were they trying to teach me? And that shift, that's when the healing begins. That's when you stop surviving the past and start remembering who you were before it. Chapter 1. The universe speaks through people. Carl Jung didn't see people as random faces passing through time. He saw them as messages wrapped in human form. Every person is a mirror, he said, but not the kind you use to check your hair. A deeper mirror, the kind that reflects the parts of your soul you're too afraid to look at, not who you pretend to be, but who you really are, underneath the masks. Let's go deeper. Ever had a stranger say something so specific, so piercing, it felt like the universe spoke through them? That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was alignment. That was a soul contract activating at the exact second your soul was ready to hear the truth. Ever fallen in love with someone who lit up your world, only to watch them vanish like smoke? That wasn't betrayal. That was your shadow taking human shape, to show you exactly what you've been suppressing, denying, or refusing to heal. We think we choose people, but more often they're chosen for us, by something far bigger than our plans, by the unconscious. Because the universe doesn't send comfort, it sends clarity. The truth is, people are assignments. Some are gentle guides, who whisper healing into the cracks of your soul when you're too tired to fight. Some are teachers, who challenge your thinking, your patterns, your ego. And some are destroyers with divine permission, sent not to ruin you but to strip away the lies you've built your identity on. They don't show up to make you feel good. They show up to make you see, to make the unconscious conscious, to bring the pain to the surface, so it can finally be transformed. Carl Jung believed that until you face what's within, the world outside will keep sending people to trigger it. Because your soul doesn't want comfort. It wants truth. It wants freedom. It wants wholeness. And sometimes the only way to get there is by walking through the fire someone else lights. But here's the secret most people never realize. The more you heal, the less chaotic the people you attract become. Because as you change internally, the universe stops needing to send teachers in the form of heartbreak, betrayal, or pain. Heal the wound, and the mirror changes. So the next time someone walks into your life, ask yourself, what part of me are they reflecting? What lesson are they here to teach? What truth are they unlocking within me? Because if you're brave enough to ask those questions, You'll stop labeling people as mistakes and start honoring them as messengers, even the painful ones. Chapter 2. They arrive when you're ready to grow. Have you ever stopped to think that every person who's ever entered your life didn't just walk in? They were sent. Carl Jung didn't believe people appeared in your life by coincidence. He believed they were mirrors, not of your surface desires, but of your deepest unconscious truths. Not everyone you meet is there to stay. Not everyone is there to love you, support you, or comfort you. Some are there to expose you, to awaken you, to trigger the part of your soul that's been asleep for too long. Let me explain. You meet someone, a stranger, and they say one sentence that shakes your reality, as if the universe used them as a mouthpiece, as if their presence activated something ancient in you. That's not luck. That's not chance. That's a soul contract coming to life. An agreement your soul made long before your mind could understand it. Now flip the page. Someone enters your life and you fall in love. It feels magical. But slowly, it turns to chaos. You're left heartbroken, confused, doubting your worth. Why? Because that person wasn't sent to complete you. They were sent to reveal you, to shatter your illusions, to crack open the false identity you've clung to for years. Carl Jung called this the work of the shadow. He believed that every part of yourself you refuse to face, every pain, every fear, every lie, gets projected outward. And guess what? The people you meet, they pick up those projections. They become your mirror, showing you everything you've denied. The people who irritate you the most often reflect the very traits you haven't accepted in yourself. The people you obsess over often hold the emotional wounds you've left unhealed. And the people you fear losing the most often point to the void you've been too scared to fill alone. So no, people don't just show up. They are placed strategically, intentionally, spiritually. Some are guides, some are messengers, and some are destroyers with divine permission. They tear down your ego. They rip off the mask. They force you to face the pain you thought you buried. And while it hurts, it's sacred. Because in Jungian psychology, this is the path to individuation, to becoming your whole self, to integrating every lost, broken, or exiled part of your being. You don't become your highest self by reading books. You become your highest self by surviving the people who were sent to challenge your illusions. That friend who betrayed you, they weren't evil. They were a mirror, sent to show you your own abandonment wound. That partner who triggered every insecurity in your chest, they were holding up the mirror your soul had been avoiding, and the ones who walked away without closure, they were the ones teaching you. You are the closure, because no one outside of you can finish what's incomplete inside you. This is why Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Most people spend their entire life running from their triggers, but what if the trigger is the teacher? What if that person you can't forget is still lingering in your energy, not because they're meant to return, but because the lesson they carried hasn't been accepted? Here's the truth. Every human interaction is sacred data. Every relationship is a spiritual classroom, and every heartbreak is a syllabus for transformation. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to reveal in me? Because the universe doesn't speak in words, it speaks in people, and when you're finally brave enough to listen, you'll realize you were never being punished. You were being prepared. Chapter 3. The wound is where the light enters. It's easy to hate the ones who hurt you, to replay the betrayal, to resent the silence, to curse the pain. But what if they weren't enemies? What if the people who shattered you were actually sacred messengers, wearing the disguise of chaos? Carl Jung understood this truth better than anyone. He didn't see suffering as punishment. He saw it as a portal. He said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Because the soul doesn't evolve through comfort, it evolves through cracks. And the ones who cracked you open, they were never random. They were precisely designed to pull you out of your false self, to burn away the parts of you that were built in fear, in people-pleasing, in survival. Think about it. That person who betrayed your trust? Yes, it burned, but that pain forced you to finally question who you give your energy to. That lover who left you in the dark without answers? that abandonment, it broke you, but it also built you. It taught you to create your own light. To stop depending on someone else's flashlight to find your way. That friend who turned cold when you needed them the most, their absence, it hurt. But it also revealed a painful truth. Not everyone deserves a seat at your healing table. These aren't just stories. They're initiations. They're sacred fires. They're invitations to a deeper self, one that's not defined by who stays, but by who you become when they leave. Because here's the truth Jung taught. The wound is the birthplace of the breakthrough. And the people who wound you, they're the midwives of your transformation. You don't become powerful by being protected from pain. You become powerful by learning how to transmute pain into purpose. Yes, they hurt you, but in doing so, they unlock doors inside you that would have never opened otherwise. You stopped giving blindly. You stopped tolerating nonsense. You started valuing your presence. You started healing the childhood beliefs that whispered, "You're not enough unless you're needed." So don't curse them. Thank them. Thank them for doing the job your comfort zone refused to do. Thank them for being the storm that tore your roof off, because only then did you look up and remember. You were always meant to build a sky of your own. In Jungian psychology, the shadow isn't your enemy, it's your invitation. And often, it's the people who trigger your shadow the most, who carry the key to your next evolution. So instead of asking, "Why did they hurt me?" ask, "What did their presence awaken in me?" That's where healing begins, not by forgetting what happened, but by remembering what it taught you, and that's how the light gets in. Chapter 4. Souls travel in packs. Have you ever locked eyes with someone for the first time and felt like the conversation already started lifetimes ago? That unexplainable sense of déjà vu, that deep knowing without explanation, as if your soul whispered, "Oh, it's you again." That's not chemistry, that's recognition. That's memory, not of the mind, but of the soul. Carl Jung believed that beneath all individual psyches exists the collective unconscious, a vast spiritual blueprint where soul memories live, untouched by time or space. It's the reason you can meet a complete stranger and feel more safe, more seen, more connected than you've ever felt with someone you've known for years. Because sometimes the body meets for the first time, but the souls have danced before. This isn't fiction, this is resonance. Some souls walk into your life not to teach you something new, but to help you remember what your soul already knows. You say, "I've known you forever," but what you're really saying is, "My soul has been waiting for this reunion." These aren't relationships, these are revelations. Sometimes they last a moment, sometimes they stay for years, and sometimes they come, crack you open, then leave, because their work is done. Soul contracts, agreements made before this life, forged in energy, sealed in purpose. Some are meant to love you, some are meant to trigger you, some are meant to wake you up from the coma of unconscious living. You don't attract them, you remember them. And when that remembrance happens, it's like the universe pauses for a second, everything aligns, the noise fades, and for a brief moment you step outside time into a space your soul has been to before. Jung understood this deeply. He didn't just study minds, he studied timeless bonds. He said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." And that's exactly what these soul meetings do. They transform you, not always gently, not always beautifully, but always spiritually. Because the soul doesn't crave consistency, it craves growth, and growth often comes wrapped in people who make you feel both completely safe and dangerously awake at the same time. So when you meet someone and everything inside you says, "Something about you feels eternal," trust it. That's not fantasy. That's a contract unfolding. It's the universe reminding you, you're not alone in this journey. You're traveling in a soul pack, scattered across timelines, reunited through purpose, woven together by destiny. These connections are sacred. Honor them, even the ones that ended in tears, because even if the ending was human, the meeting was divine. Chapter 5. Some stay, some teach, some leave. Not every soul that walks into your life is meant to walk with you forever. And that's not failure. That's design. That's soul architecture. Some people come like cherry blossoms, delicate, breathtaking, but brief. Their beauty lies in their impermanence. They show you magic, then disappear with the wind, not to hurt you, but to remind you, nothing truly beautiful can be possessed, only experienced. Then there are those who arrive like storms, unpredictable, violent, raw. They don't ask for permission. They shatter your old self to pieces. But when they leave behind clarity, strength, and foundations you never had before. And then there are the roots, the invisible ones, the souls who don't always say much, but they hold you quietly in your darkest hours. They stay beneath the surface, carrying your weight when you forget how to stand. Carl Jung believed that every soul we meet plays a symbolic role, that there are no coincidences, only inner projections meeting outer reflections. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. And relationships, all of them, are invitations to wake up. But here's the trap most of us fall into. We try to make everyone permanent. We cling to cherry blossoms and expect them to grow roots. We beg the storm to stay, even though its work is already done. We confuse teachers for soulmates and lessons for lifelong contracts. But the universe doesn't work that way. It sends people based on your level of consciousness. And once the message is delivered, they might leave, because the mission is complete. Don't resent that. Honor it. Because what matters most is not how long someone stayed, but what they activated in you while they were here. Did they awaken your self-worth? Did they mirror your wounds? Did they make you feel seen in a way you had forgotten? That was the purpose. Every soul encounter is an echo of something bigger. A pattern unraveling, a subconscious script rewriting itself, a new version of you being born. So instead of asking, why didn't they stay, ask, what part of me did they help me find? Because maybe the friend who ghosted you taught you not to beg for loyalty. The lover who disappeared without goodbye taught you the power of self-closure. The mentor who disappointed you taught you to stop worshipping people and start trusting your own wisdom. This is not abandonment, this is spiritual redirection. Because when you chase those who were meant to leave, you delay the arrival of those who were meant to stay. So let them go, with love, with gratitude, with understanding. Not every chapter needs a villain. Some people exit your life peacefully because the soul's agreement was already fulfilled, and the more you honor the exit, the more aligned the next arrival will be. Chapter 6. When it's done, let them go. Sometimes they don't explain, they just disappear. No warning, no final conversation, no apology, just silence. And that silence, it echoes louder than any goodbye ever could. It leaves you searching, replaying, rereading old messages, overthinking every moment, trying to find the one thing you could have done differently, as if closure is something they owe you, as if their absence is a debt you must collect. But the truth? They didn't leave without a reason. They left because their role was fulfilled. Their presence served its purpose. Their scene in the movie of your life reached its final line. Carl Jung said it with piercing simplicity: what you resist persists. That means the more you fight to understand why they vanished, the more you trap yourself in a loop of obsession, of grief, of trying to rewrite a chapter that's already closed. The pain isn't always because they're gone. The real pain is your resistance to accept that they were never meant to stay. We grow up believing every connection must last. We're conditioned to believe that real love never leaves, that real friends never go silent. But that's just a story, not reality. Because in truth, some souls come to awaken you, not to accompany you. They arrive to shake you, to mirror something inside you.